Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. Welcome home, everybody, to leading off. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. With me, as always, is the Welsh, who already has his jewelry on. If you're watching us on the YouTube channel, we made it. We're here. Opening day is tomorrow, but we decided to start a day early because we missed all of our peanuts and cracker jacks. We see you in the chat. We see all the new subscribers here to the YouTube channel because Fantasy Pros MLB is one of the fastest, well, let's be honest, it's the fastest growing MLB YouTube channel that there is. And the Welsh and I are going to talk a little baseball today. We're going to go through a few things, some news and notes, some stuff to get you hyped up for tomorrow. And Welsh, like I said, man, it just feels like we're just back home and never left.
How long are you going to do that open and make me wear this? I thought it was going to be a quick thing.
Oh, as long as possible.
Get me out of this. It's a new season. We're out of the tiaras and crowns. We're getting serious. It's totally not going to be tiaras again. I am stoked, my friend. Everything we've done so much prep all season long. Hopefully, yeah, Joey P and the Princess. Hopefully, you guys have been hanging out with us with all the videos and all the craziness. But like that, we get to get back here. We get to talk every single day, and we get to hang with you guys. I am ecstatic about it, and I'm excited to do it tomorrow. But I'm also just excited to see all these awesome faces in here of everyone that hangs out with us live. Because you podcast listeners, you can hang with us live. You could have saw Joe hang the 2-minute open with the tiara hanging on me. I was trying to get that thing off immediately, but Joe didn't even call on me and made me wear that thing.
No, I think it made an indent in your head there, probably.
I know,
too. And for those of you who are new to the YouTube channel and saying, what the heck's going on? What is this? Well, every day, 12:30 Eastern, the Welsh and I are going to be here talking baseball, taking your questions. We're going to go through a little fantasy, actually a lot of fantasy. We're going to do a little DFS. We're going to do a little gambling talk, a little wagering talk too. But most importantly, we're also going to do a lot of prize picking too, which is our new sponsor here. If you haven't noticed already, boom, there it is, PrizePicks. So PrizePicks is the new sponsor of the show. We're very excited to have that new sponsor. And for those of you who don't know what it is, it's a fantastic service. We can go out there and play daily fantasy. You pick over-unders and player props, and you can win up to 25 times your money. It's fun. I can't play in New Jersey. It's the only thing that's not legal in New Jersey. I feel like everything in New Jersey is legal pretty much. But we want you to make sure you join us. Again, the promo code is FantasyPros over at PrizePicks. That's one word. You get 100% deposit match as well. So, Welsh, let's get to some baseball here before we get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's start with the headlines. Tristan McKenzie, probably the biggest headline. Out for 2 months with shoulder surgery. Hunter Gaddis going to be moving into the rotation. The Guardians also extending Andres Jimenez, one of our favorite guys, to a long-term contract. So good on Andres. He got paid. But bad with the rotation here for the Cleveland Guardians because Tristan McKenzie, it's somebody that a few of our guests this offseason warned about, that Tristan McKenzie, with the frame and some of the issues there, might be a guy to kind of fade in drafts. Well, here we are. Season hasn't started, and he's already going to be gone for the first 2 months.
Yeah, not that prophetic, like, oh, he's going to get hurt or anything like that. Tristan McKenzie just wasn't a guy for me. Really no shares. I don't think I have a single share in anything I've done all season, and the 8 weeks is going to take it down. Hunter Gaddis is really interesting. I actually saw him pitch like a week ago or so with spring training was inning, and everyone's just going to love him. He's this big mountain man with this huge hair and the beard. Last season in the minor leagues, he had a 4 ERA, 158 strikeouts. Gets a little flat. He got a little flat in the game I watched. He gave up I think it was a second at-bat home run to MJ Melendez and then a 2-run shot to Edward Olivares. Also watch out for Tanner Bibee, however we say it. He might be a guy, if Hunter Gaddis struggles, that gets a little bit of run because McKenzie's going to miss like 8 weeks and not going to be in my rotation.
Yeah, it's a big loss there for Cleveland. And obviously, if, you think Cleveland's going to win that division, they're going to have to start push some of these younger kids too. So keep an eye. I know he's working his way back. Espanol is a guy that I think, has a lot of upside, a lot of talent, depending on when he comes back there. And for those of you looking in the chat here, I see too, no, Welsh did not get taller just as hair did.
I'm also dying here too. Nizuko, I love the idea too. It says, will Welsh's hair be like that all season? It will. It will probably be like this all season. But I like the idea too of, you seen those memes where they're like, hey, if we get this many likes, we'll make someone smaller or bigger. All season long, we'll just make the hair go bigger. My goal will be to get the hair out of the frame at some point here soon. I don't know if I should incentivize people, Joe. If we could get to 12,000 follows by tomorrow, by opening day, do I make
Ooh.
it bigger and not cut it all season? Or do
Well,
I?
we are very close to that. So if you haven't subscribed already to our YouTube channel, make sure you do, because we are closing in on the 12K mark. We are just several hundred away.
I'm not
So
cutting it.
let's go, everybody. Let's go. But I mean, I'm here for it. Grow it as long as you can. That's
Okay.
what I say to you. Grow it as long as you can.
You do say
Do
that
it
a
for
lot.
me.
Yeah.
Do it for me.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
you
It's
know, I
only in
want you-
America, guys. This is called the Jimmy
Only in
Neutron,
America.
and I will Jimmy Neutron it as much as possible. So just
There's
be
an
prepared.
image for everybody. All right, let's get to some more news and notes here. Freddie Peralta fans 5 in the victory over the Rockies. So for those of us, including me, that had keeper shares of Freddie Peralta, I was ignoring some of the noise and listening to Freddie Peralta saying he feels great, everything's good, everything's fine so far. Looks
Best shape
really
of his
good.
life.
So that is going to be an important piece for that Brewers rotation. Our Bubala, Chris Bubik, lands a spot in the Royals rotation. It's nice to see Bubala getting some love here. Also, some interesting news from Boston here, Welsh. Raimel Tapia earns the opening day roster spot. Jaron Duran getting sent down. So
Wow.
what does this mean for him here, prospect-wise? Because this was a player, a lot of hype, a lot of people spent a lot of money on last year in the fab budget world, and it really didn't happen for him.
It's definitely not the end or anything like that, but he's borderlining in that territory of we might just need a new destination. Like how Raimel Tapia beating him on that roster, especially that roster what the Red Sox are putting out right now. This, in my mind, would have been you just let him go. You let him do this season. Let's not play the pretend game. I wonder if this is going to be a prelude to them maybe finding a new destination somewhere in the NL or something like that. I think he might need to refine his swing, just might need to have an entire overhaul. It's not good. You know, Jared Kelenic is kind of like back on the uptick, and Jaron Duran is just falling further and further.
Well, Kelenic, a much higher rated prospect, though.
Yeah, but Duran had a push, man. Jaron Duran
definitely had a push, but I'll agree. Duran had a push. Kelenic had a pedigree. Can we agree on that?
Of course.
All
it's
right,
just Jaron
okay.
Duran did make that big push, but he also pointing out, I wanted to look this up, did hit 333 in spring, over 400 OPS, but he only got 18 at bats the whole spring. So I also think that's kind of not fair. Like if they're not going to make the commitment, and I will say this, it also makes me think that their mind is set with what Jaron Duran, if they give him 18 spring at bats and then they let Raimel Tapia take the job, I think they might have their mindset regardless of what Duran does. So you can only hope for a new destination, new home.
Some fun things here. This is Brooks. I don't remember Brooks from last year. Brooks says Bad Bunny perm for the Welsh. I'm here for that. Also, if we get to 15,
I always hear that. I always hear
who's
Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny? He's only the biggest selling artist in the history of the world right now.
Oh, okay.
Boy, are you old?
Joe. I guess that's
Bad
like
Bunny.
I've heard Bad Bunny. I'm looking right now.
Bad Bunny is a very important hip hop artist, and so I know these things. He also not a bad wrestler. He did some work at WrestleMania last year. And
wait. The highest selling musician in the world did some wrestling as well.
Yeah, so him and Logan Paul, both very good. Also, Mr. Buster, who's back here, says if we get 15K after the first month, Joe gets hair plugs. I'm in for that. That's fine. I mean,
that'd be cool.
Me with hair last year, those were some pretty fun memes. I appreciate.
Could I present an idea? If we got, let's get something realistic. If we got to, maybe it is 15. But doesn't say if we got to a number that you agreed upon. Could we get like a wig for a month? Like Fantasy Pros, they will sport it. We'll put it in the budget.
I'll do it. Out of my own pocket, I'll do it. I'm a man of the people.
15? Or can we get like 13?
I think 15. I want to set our goals a little higher. That's all
right. So 15 by the end of April, and Joe is going to get a full on. Can I pick the wig?
Yes. Yes. That's fine.
Please, that's everybody.
Rhys Hoskins underwent his surgery on Thursday. Welsh, we've touched on this here a little bit, but this is another huge blow. A lot of people who drafted Rhys Hoskins, and even people who had late drafts. I mean, this was really a kick in the groin here at the end of the day, where you felt good, especially because first base was so bad. You got Hoskins at decent value. He was having a terrific spring. Now he's going to be gone for the entire season. We have Bryce Harper missing at least the first few months of the season here. So what do you make of this Phillies lineup going in? I know they still have Trey Turner and Castellanos and Schwarber, but how much of a blow is this? And how much of a blow is it also to the first base position overall in fantasy? Because as we sit here, it is tough. I mean, where are you going here for corner help?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going for, a guy like Rowdy Tellez, Jose Miranda. Those are places where I'm going for help. This team is interesting. I actually think like my process for the Phillies is like there might be some bumps and bruises in that first half, but I think they're also going to have a crazy second half. I also think they're going to make a move. I do some shows sometime. I just did one over at CBS with Frank Stample, and Frank is a big Derek Hall believer. I'm not so much the lefty split thing. It might work in his benefit. I just don't know how much it's going to work. I still think this team might go out and try to get somebody. They didn't. I don't think they actively went after Luke Voit, who signed a contract. Yuli Gurriel didn't come back out. But I wonder if they're going to go and make a move because they're aggressive. Look at how aggressive this team is right now. And it's like Schwarber, Castellanos is great. Trey Turner, I think, is an MVP candidate. These are all solid things, but you don't want to let your foot off the gas. And will it be enough for Derek Hall? Or I've kind of thought maybe Alec Boehm moves over to first a little bit.
Josh, what about Jay Cave too? 440, 481, 820, and 50 at bats this spring has been pretty good. Cave was getting a lot of buzz. I know last year he didn't really perform all that well. Is Cave another guy people in those NL only leagues or deeper leagues should be looking at?
NL only, yeah, and probably not anything else but NL only in my mind.
All right, fair enough. Continuing on some of the headlines here, Tony Gonsolin targeting a late April return, so we'll see that. Yohan Oviedo. Fan 7 and got a rotation spot with the Pittsburgh Pirates. He qualifies at RP and SP. Well, I know it's the Pirates. I know they're going to be terrible, but if you need some pitching help or some depth, or you have somebody who's, starting a week or two late, like let's say you have Tony Gonsolin, I'm putting these two things together. Can you get a couple of starts out of him that are decent? And is he somebody that will be one of these first guys off the waiver wire? So go grab him now before the start.
You could, but my retort would be, he's a Pirate. So that would be where I
keep
don't
your retorts
invest.
to yourself, by the way. I don't want to bring your retorts here.
He had much strikeouts, but he had like a 1.4 whip, not a good ERA in spring. It's great that he made the rotation, but like how many great options? I mean, I guess they picked him over JT Brubaker, which is really solid. But I'm not a huge believer, but I'm also a little bit weird with this team. Like everyone loved Luis Ortiz, the prospect not too long ago, and he got sent down for this. Like I'm just not interested in any Pirates rotation player ever. Maybe Mitch, it's cool. Mitch Keller changed some stuff, but it's like how much run support's there. Wins are not going to come at a premium. He could get you a couple, but like I'm not going to be running to the wire, even if he's really good, because I just think there are guys that are going to be popping up. This is going to be a turnstile. Like the Pirates are just like trying to find live bodies to put into the rotation, and Oviedo is not. But he's a spark. So, for you guys that are utilizing starting pitchers in your relief spot, why not?
Yeah, well, I mean, RP, SP eligibility too. Looking for 2-start weeks. And those leagues we have mandatory RP spots. Just saying, relief pitchers, a lot of committees this year. A lot of people trying to figure out what it is. I would be proactive. I would add it. Speaking of guys getting paid and stuff like that, because I see here in Heller's in there, Ohtani talking about the $650 million contract, things like that. I just saw a thing recently just came around. The highest paid players in MLB in 2023, when you add their salary and you add in their endorsement deals. Shohei Ohtani is the highest at $70 million. Max Scherzer is second, Verlander's third, then Judge, Trout, Anthony Rendon at 6, if you want to chuckle. Garrett Cole 7, Corey Seager 8, Carlos Correa is at 9 with $37 million total between the two. And number 10, Steven Strasburg still. So
did you see the advertising deal money too? That it was like Judge and Trout were getting like $4 and $5 million in advertising deals this year, and Ohtani's got $35 million in advertising deals. He is just far. He is like him.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't he
combine the top 5 other guys, and he's making more than that?
And if he goes to a New York team or a Los Angeles team, I mean, it was already a Los Angeles team, I should say. A real Los Angeles team. Ha, ha, ha. That's right. I said it, Angels fans. They won the spring. Did you see that? MLB put a little thing. Congratulations, Angels, champions of the spring with the best record. Talk about cringe.
I mean, that's funny. Oh. By the way, do you love the Dr. Glenn jumped in? He's like, here goes the Ohtani talk. That's the MVP Ohtani talk.
And by the way, just, speaking of Ohtani talk, I've got money on him for MVP, but I would also recommend money for him on Cy Young, because if he doesn't get traded to the National League, you're getting 11-1 on bettingpros.com. You can find it on Ohtani for Cy Young. I think that's wide open in the AL this year.
Way to bury someone's bold prediction coming up here soon, Joe. Thanks.
Maybe that's just a tease, because Welsh and I are going to do. Hey man, I made the sheet yesterday. You know how many show sheets I've done for all the shows in the last 24 hours? Anyway. Some other news and notes we'll get to real quick. Sergio Romo retired Monday after his last outing in San Francisco. The crowd was cheering for him, and the stupid umpire called a ball because he didn't get to that point. And I am all for the rules changes. I am so pro rules changes. I love the pitch clock. I love the big base. I want the bases to be as big as, I don't know, as Daniel Vogelback. That's how big I want the bases to be.
Joe wants to inject players with steroids as they walk out. He wants there to be swimming pool sized bases. He wants
we can just have pools. People jump into the pool. I think it's great. But they've got to make an exception. When a guy is in his last moments there and he's tipping his hat to the crowd, there was 2 moments this week of stupid umpiring. And the other one was the Real Muto thing, which
man.
Did you see the tweet I sent you about that?
Yeah.
That was an incredible breakdown.
Okay. You know what? What's worse though? Is it the ump acting like a baby because the ball fell?
No, that's the
or
worst.
Is it, do you think that's really worse though than them calling the clock on Romo in what is clearly a retirement situation with Hunter Pence?
I will give the umpire a pass because maybe he didn't quite realize what was going on. He's an umpire. I mean,
they're usually not very aware of what's happening in games.
No, but they're not aware that this is Romo's last moment. Like, he could just been caught up in the game and forgot about that. Maybe he just thought it was a big ovation because it was Romo. Like, he's not listening to the broadcast talking about it. He's focused on the game. He gets a pass. The guy with Real Muto does not get a pass. Okay, that was such a little D energy move. I'm just gonna say it. That's what that was, bro. Like, you don't even. It was ridiculous. And I give JT Real Muto so much credit because as an Italian, I would have lost my mind as an Italian. He was so calm about it. He was basically like, dude, I thought you threw it back. What's the problem? I don't understand. If you miss this, go look on the Twitter machine. It's everywhere. It's hilarious.
I don't think I would have handled that very well either, Joe.
I
don't think.
No way. I was like, you threw me out because I went for the ball and I thought you threw it back to him because you just threw the last one back to the pitcher. I mean, I know Kimball was kind of.
People look, he put his glove out. The ball didn't get there, so he moved his glove, obviously assuming, all right, I'm not getting the ball, and then the ump drops it. It was it's a pretty amazing moment. Umps have been on fire this last month or so.
Nobody comes to see you, umpires. Literally, robots can do your job at this point. So. Just saying.
I think in the minor leagues, robots will be doing the job Monday through Thursday, and then they turn it off on the weekends.
Just turn it off on the weekends.
I think that's true. Like umps are doing all the calls after.
All right, let's talk a little bold predictions here. Now, again, in leading off every day, we're gonna do the headlines. We're gonna talk about the stat leaders. Tomorrow's gonna be more of a preview show too. Very heavy preview because it's opening day. So we're gonna be like the perfect thing to watch right before opening day, and the games kick off between 12 and 1 in different places there. But let's get to some of our bold predictions here. So. I didn't spoil yours. I just think I was just on one of my classic Shohei Ohtani rants. So let's start with you, Welsh. Give me a bold prediction for 2023. Let's have some fun. And if you've got bold predictions, drop them in the chat. And don't forget, if you do, make comments in the chat, even if you're not watching live. If you're just watching, we're also giving away free premium upgrades, 1 year free of FantasyPros, take you through all baseball season, all the football season. So all you got to do is be a subscriber here of the channel and drop a comment. And just like that, you could win. And don't forget, too, we've also got My Playbook now with the season right there. So download My Playbook. Let us help you. We've got the lineup assistant, the waiver assistant, the trade analyzer, the league analyzer, and it also washes your car. It does a lot of great things. So let's talk about it. Welsh, let's get to your first bold prediction. What do you got?
I followed your trend. I think we have like a team one. We've got essentially an Ohtani one, and then we've got a player one. So I'll go with the team one first. And this is like bold prediction season here. I don't know how bold this really truly is, but I tie all these things together here. Is that the Rangers are going to win 90 plus games. They're going to make the playoffs this year. Jacob deGrom, I can't say one of the things I think he could do, but I think he could be at the top of leading the league in strikeouts. And Corey Seager will be a perennial MVP candidate, maybe even be near the top, though it's kind of hard because there's another player out there. But Rangers, 90 games. They make the playoffs, DeGrom and Corey Seager near the top of voting, and we all laugh hysterically because Jacob deGrom proved us wrong. But this is really about the Rangers making 90 games.
Let me be clear about this. I am rooting for Jacob deGrom to prove me wrong. I'm just not investing in him at the cost that he was going for. It was ludicrous to me. I was just like,
well, you can invest in him in betting if you would like. By the way,
right? He's the number one guy on Cy
total,
Young, so I don't want to invest in him. He's 5 to 1. That's not enough.
Yeah, but it's 5.5 to 1 you can get. But I will say, if you like to play team totals, the Rangers are at 81. I just saw, and I think it's a really good number to bet on the over, even though it's a tough division. And if you want to have them make the playoffs, it's not a great one, but it's like 2-1 on the money just to make the playoffs. But yeah, you can make DeGrom bets. Even Wonky said, just wrote a bold prediction article with DeGrom at 25 games. Guess what? DeGrom at 25 games is a Cy Young candidate through and through. Like, there's no doubt about it. Could also lead the league in strikeouts if he pitches 25 games. And that's why that crazy team in a division, by the way, because I know it doesn't feel like, ooh, crazy prediction, but you got the Astros and you got the Mariners that are in front there. And I think
I just wrote an article on Fantasy Pros that Wonky Penguin was sniffing glue when she wrote that article. So there you go.
Wonky or Rocket. Wonky's killing me during the draft season. Every time we were kind of simpatico. And I felt like Wonky's been all over me about DeGrom, but then goes and writes this article. So there we go.
I will say this, to quote my good friend Derek Brown, the range of outcomes for the Rangers is enormous. And I do think there is a one you can write where DeGrom makes 25 starts, that Perez maintains what he did last year, that John Gray picks up where he left off before his last wacky injury. He looked good in his last outing too. Just was it 7 strikeouts in the 4 innings that he had?
Heaney and Eovaldi actually are the game changers.
Well, but I was going to say, you've got Eovaldi, you got Heaney, and you've got Dane Dunning floating around there too. So you've got a little bit of depth, and it is more of a 6-man rotation in that sense, where you know that these guys are all not making 30 starts. Like, that ain't happening. So if you look at the rest of this offense, Seager, Simeon, Lowe, Garcia, Mitch Garver, this is an offense that can compete. Heim is a very good catcher, very good defensive catcher. Like, you can really make a lot of good ones here in the chat. I want to bring up a couple of these. Jose says George Kirby, AL Cy Young.
Wow, like that.
Vizariza Jizza, Trout hitting 50 home runs. I mean, look, back to the Trout one real quick. He hit 40 in an abbreviated season for himself last year.
Projected, so. I believe on the Bat X, projected to have the most homers of any player regardless right now. So that's a good one.
Here's another one, Robbie Ray to win the Cy Young. And that's Dan.
I like Bizarriza gives his most recent one.
Oh, I gotta scroll down there. There's so much chatting. Here's one. Of course, Welsh likes this one. Jeffrey Springs for American League Cy Young. Let's get to one of my bold predictions here. Number 1, you're gonna love this. The Dodgers missed the playoffs.
you have been spouting this all off season, man.
Yeah, that's right. I'm all in on it because sure, there's a range of outcomes where everything works out fine for them. I just think they're a very top-heavy roster, and I'm just not buying the pitching. Welsh, Gonsolin, I think, is due for a huge regression. Kershaw's 22 starts a year, right? And we kind of know what we're getting out of him. Urias is a very good pitcher. I don't think he's dominant, striking fear into the hearts and minds of opposing batters, kind of dominant yet. Maybe he makes that jump this year. It's not impossible. But I just keep looking at the Dodgers, and I keep looking at all the stuff last year that, kind of broke their way. And I'm looking at this team, and I love the JD Martinez signing, but, they're asking a lot of Muncy. Taylor's been terrible. Peralta, I think, is washed, to tell you the truth. I mean, they're basically banking on Gingergaard and Syndergaard to make 25 starts apiece. And you could sign me up for the under for the 96.5 on the Dodgers. And in fantasy too, stay away from them.
With their injuries, they might need the color guard because I'm a little bit worried about where they're heading. You have been spouting this one a ton. And I don't actually hate it because I actually have the Padres taking this division. I still have the Padres taking the division,
but I think you get how many playoff teams again in the National League? Hold the fingers up. Go ahead, Welsh. How many playoffs?
Yeah, well, you got the 4. You got the 3 divisional, and then you got the 3 wild card.
Okay, so here we go. So ready? Okay, so Mets make the playoffs, Braves make the playoffs, Phillies make the playoffs. I'm gonna go ahead and San Diego Padres make the playoffs, Cardinals make the playoffs, Brewers make the playoffs. Boom. There you go. There you go. That was easy, wasn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
I'm not. You and Bogman are big on the Brewers right now. Well, I'm not as big as the Brewers as you are.
Brewers have pitching. If that Brewers pitching is right, it smokes the Dodgers pitching. Yeah. Corbin Burns, Woodruff, and Peralta. That's Gingergaard and Syndergaard. Please. You need a rash guard. That's what you need. All right, let's get to what's going to become our Ohtani prediction. So let's get to our second predictions here live on the show. What do you got?
All right, well, mine is going to make people a lot happier. Joe's is going to upset everybody. I believe that Shohei Ohtani will not only win the MVP, he will also win the Cy Young. I was working through this. We were actually talking about this over on the CBS, and I just love the idea of this as well. I kind of have a feeling that Ohtani is a little bit more of a dominant pitcher than he is anything else this season. So even if I didn't go with the MVP, I really think he is up there for Cy Young. I kind of don't hate the odds. I think it's like 12-1 right now you can get on Cy Young. But we're going to get it right this year. Obviously, Judge had a big year. We're going to come back down. Ohtani is going to do more of what he does. If he's more dominant, I think we mentioned a couple times, but Ohtani's now on a 6-day, not a 6-start. So it could line up where he's actually getting like 2 in a week, which could get just maybe a little bit more innings. And it does happen. I couldn't even remember last time, but it was 2014. MVP and Cy Young was given. How about to a player that can do both? So Ohtani is not only the MVP, who he is the favorite. I believe he's like 2-1 on most books. He will also win the Cy Young in the AL.
I love it. Plus 1100. It's a better bet. I mean, it just is. Look, any Ohtani bet's very dangerous this year because if he gets traded to the NL, which brings me to my prediction that Shohei Ohtani does get traded to the NL, and he gets traded to a team that has all the pieces to make that move. One of the best prospect pipelines in baseball. And the biggest need for another pitcher and the biggest need for a left-handed bat, it's my horrible, terrible, no good New York Mets that break my heart every year, that make me a miserable human being to begin with. But I think Ohtani is going to be coming to Queens, and I can't wait for it. Like, if that happens, Welsh, I don't even know like the feelings, all of the feelings that would be going on at one time for me. It would be a lot. It would be a lot to take in. Like, everybody should be rooting for that to happen, even if they hate the Mets, just to watch what happens for me on the show the day that happens. We will go live.
Yeah.
If Ohtani, I will get on this channel live with you if that happens, and it will be probably the greatest YouTube television of all time.
It's right around Dicey Joe time, that trade deadline. If it happens right at the deadline, it's right around where Joe's starting to mosey on over to the other channels and stuff. Maybe we're going to get Joe to be able to stick around a little bit longer too if Ohtani is a Met.
You know what?
This one's gross.
That might get every day talking about Ohtani just to piss off Dr. Glenn would be worth it. Let's get to the last ones here. Last one for me. Julio Rodriguez, 40-40 season. That's right. I said it, 40-40. I think it's well within his grasp. There's some other ones here, too. This is another one of our new friends here. Lamer Boy, extra bold prediction. Wesneski beats out Carroll and Walker for NL Rookie of the Year. I'm here for that. That's fun. But Julio, to me, Julio's my MVP. I already said it. Julio was my 1-1 this year going into things. Welsh, what is your last bold prediction that you have?
Well, I just want everyone to know, I've been in some other places. My main bold prediction this season is that Corbin Carroll leads the league in stolen bases. And that you can get at 15-1 on any book right now. And I made the bet. Yeah, I mean, even putting $10 on it. Why not? Even just put $10 on it.
What am I doing?
Do it. But to give you a different one, and I think I gave this last year, and I couldn't have been more wrong. I'm going to pick a much better player for it. So not just to give the Carroll one. Let's not even mention the player that I said. This year, I'm going to go with Jordan Alverez with the Astros will lead the league in home runs. And that is a bet you can also make. And I think there's some pretty good odds on that as well. Maybe like 8-1 or something. So give me Jordan Alvarez to lead the league in homers.
I got a lot of new people here. A lot of new faces. I like
What's up, buddies.
And here's a Tim Sawyer. Here's a great prediction. Brendan Fraser will come out of retirement and pitch for the Yankees in Welsh's favorite film, The Scout.
It's the worst.
See, that's how you know people are listening to the show, because they throw out little tidbits like that. And I gotta say, guys, gals, it's fun to be back here. This is fun. And look, we are a baseball show, all encompassing fantasy. We're gonna do prize picks this year. It's going to be really fun. Again, if you haven't already, sign up today. Use that promo code leading off one word, FantasyPros. Again, prize picks. You can download the app. It's super fun. And we're going to be talking, look, it's all the same, whether it be projections, whether it be fantasy stuff, all this kind of ties in. We're trying to be successful in our fantasy leagues. We're trying to make money off baseball as well. And we've done a really good job of that here on the show the last couple of years. If you were with us 2 years ago, you made money at Bryce Harper 30-1. I love that clip. It's one of my favorite clips that we rerun all the time. If you were with us last year, you won Justin Verlander money 25-1. So we're here to help you. And maybe some of those, fantasy leagues, you get injuries, things go wrong. There's ways to still entertain yourself in the baseball universe. We hope you're part of the entertainment here along with us, because we love when you join us live. We just peaked over 200 people watching live right now.
Also, don't forget,
not even a baseball game to be had today.
Mayor just put this in. One of the big things we're going to do as well, and why you guys should sign up for all the premium stuff and get in the Discord, is because the home run call contest is going down, and it's coming down tomorrow. And we might even have some prize information that I was working on that might help out.
Yeah, Welsh is working on some personalized merch from some.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I don't know
But
if it's going to work. We're
you guys are
working
going to get
on it.
prizes. You guys are going to get prizes in the home run Who won the contest last year? I completely
I
forgot.
don't know. Mayor, tell us who did win the contest last year.
Yeah.
But look, some people were pissed off because they didn't get in it from the beginning. So get in it from the beginning. FantasyPros.com/chat. Join the Discord. It's free to join the Discord. Again, FantasyPros.com/chat. I'll put it on my Twitter too at some point today if you don't know what it is, and just join the home run call channel and make your home run calls. It's fun. Every month we're giving away $25 gift card as well. Wonky didn't win, did she? I hope not, because that would be...
Wonky just made me
there
laugh
you go.
too.
Eskel
Elskel won. That's right. Yeah. The winner of the home run contest will get a game used tiara, game used Fantasy Pros tiara. I don't know if I can autograph this, but it'll be a game used tiara that I just threw on the ground that we're retiring.
So tomorrow we will be back 12:30 previewing opening day. We want you to be a part of it. Again, leading off as a daily show for all you new subscribers here. If you haven't already, click subscribe. Make sure you comment below so you can win a premium upgrade. And of course, download the My Playbook app as well to help manage all your leagues. Remember, if you got leagues in different places, you can set all your lineups at one spot. Just for that feature alone, My Playbook is worth it. You can set all of your lineups and all your leagues just in the My Playbook app. You don't have to go from app to app, which is just you don't have the time for that. Welsh certainly doesn't. He's got all those hair products to take care of and put into his
How
hair.
Did my hair become... I didn't think... I'm doing my hair this time. You remember last year, like shaved my head one day?
It was always hats.
Why is my hair
hat guy last year?
Big thing? I just look, I'm just trying to make it high and tight, and it's kind of thinning in here. Good Lord. Let's make baseball the talk of the chat tomorrow, not my hair.
There you go. And Wonky says it best here. Baseball, 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 baseball. So join us live tomorrow. Join us live every day, Monday through Friday for leading off. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you tomorrow, kids. Opening day. Let's get after it.